and we can start the slides, the presentation. What we will talk about? We will talk about Ash. Okay. Z-Wave. The differences between the Z-Wave and benefits, features of the Z-Wave, and some, let's say, comparisons with the Wi-Fi. My name is Igor. On the forums, support channels and other things known also as Shelly Qubino Wave Help or Shelly Help or Qubino Help. So this is all my nicknames. Like I say, we will speak about understanding how, very basically, how it works, concepts, how it works, a little bit differences, and then we will go the benefits, the Z-Wave over Wi-Fi, and then we will be time for your questions too. Let's start with the basics. What is Z-Wave? Z-Wave is one of the protocols for the home applications. Basically was developed for the home applications. So it's another different frequency of the Wi-Fi, so have less interference with all the other devices which we have at home, from the cell phones, computers, and all the other smart devices that can be on Wi-Fi and so on. Characteristics: low power, operates, like I say, in a lower frequency. The difference is that Wi-Fi is overall one frequency known in all the world, is shared. With the Z-Wave, it's a little bit different. Every region have its own frequency, let's say. For now, we are providing the European region, US, and Australia for the Z-Wave devices. And like I say, it's designed for basically home automation. How it works, how the Z-Wave works. Basically, mainly it utilizes a mesh network. I put also a star network, so it's similar like a Wi-Fi. This is only with the long-range devices. Devices communicate between nodes and directly to the gateway. This in the mesh network. A small example can be if you have like a device in the cellar, but it cannot reach to the signal cannot reach to the controller directly. It will hop over another device and communicate what it have to communicate through the device. Supports 232 devices in the mesh network, 4,000 in long range. For the mesh network, again, there is an extension of the range can be 4 meters per every device. It works, like I say, communicating through the nodes or directly to the controller. The controller is the one who is managing the devices, managing the network, managing the mesh network. So the network does not need to be managed by user because it's automatically done by the controller. A little bit some differences: Z-Wave versus Wi-Fi. Like we say, frequency, there are different frequencies. Z-Wave is sub-giga, they call it, so it's under 1 gigahertz, between 850 and 950 megahertz, depending on the region. Wi-Fi is 2.4 or 5 gigahertz. Indoors, more or less, the Z-Wave can reach 40 meters from device to device, so can extend it, while Wi-Fi devices reach about 30 meters. This is all approximate. Of course, it's depending on the building itself, so concrete walls and metal, of course, drastically reduce this range. Power usage, Z-Wave is known for a low power usage. more or less about 0.3. Our device is 0.3 or less than 0.3 watt, while the Wi-Fi have about 1 watt and few 1.211 watt of usage. In interference, of course, the Z-Wave have less than Wi-Fi because it works on a completely different frequency, so less crowded space, less crowded say network. Network size here is 232, like we say for the mesh, but up to 4,000 for the long-range devices. Wi-Fi basically is limited by the router capacity or like the IP addresses, so it can be bigger. Reliability. Z-Waves, we say that it's a little bit more reliable because of this mesh network. So if you have a network with a lot of devices, if one of them falls out, the other will still continue to work because they will hop over others. And basically Wi-Fi, it's by the router signal or other access points that extend, or other routers that extend the range. What we see the benefits. Now we'll talk a little bit more about the benefits, or let's say, benefits or the strength point of Z-Wave over Wi-Fi. The first one is interoperability. This is because the protocol, meaning interoperability, meaning that any Z-Wave device, no matter which is the producer, can communicate between each other and to the gateway because they use the same let's say base scripts or commands. Reliability, we just say, because of the mesh network strength of this one. With the long range, much longer signal, so even if it's a star network, the reach indoor should be around minimum 100 meters or more, so it's like triple of what is Wi-Fi. Of course, low power consumption. Like mentioned, the Z-Wave devices consume very little energy. This is a feature, Smart Start, we will talk about later, basically adding the device without basically interacting physically with the device. Security, all the encryption plus the hidden, I call it hidden network, or not so visible as the Wi-Fi, make Z-Wave very, let's say, used also in the companies that are more based on security. And the last one, long range, which will stop a little bit more. A new feature for us, also for Z-Wave, it's out a few years. We will start to do it this year too. Let's go through each of those one by one. Interoperability. Why? Because the protocol is unified. So the commands, reports, and everything is based on one same command class library. So if one device send the command, any device will understand that, or any gateway will understand that. A part of that, any device that if want to be marked as a Z-Wave device, have to go through certification. So there is an agency which certified that every aspect of the device, from marketing to, of course, firmware and the way it works, have to be, it is according to their rules. So like here an example, you can use different devices that will work between each other with no problems. Reliability. First of all, we talk about reliability, frequency, because we say it's on a different frequency than the Wi-Fi, Zigbee, Bluetooth. They are all same in the same range of frequency. So this frequency becoming crowded, while Z-Wave work in completely different frequencies. So there is no interaction whatsoever between any Zigbee, Wi-Fi, or Bluetooth devices. The other good thing, well, reliability, it's the range, like mentioned also. The range of the Z-Wave devices, it's extended in compared to Z-Wave, Zigbee, Bluetooth, because physically nothing to do with our devices or anything, because they're better. No, just because physics, it's physics, and the law of physics cannot be bent. Also because of that, let's say that devices, Z-Wave devices, because of the lower frequency, have a little bit better penetration than the all the other which are working on a high frequency. A very good example that I like to do is when you have a neighbor that is having a party just beside you, the first thing you will hear is the low frequency, so the bass, like boom, boom, boom. When you will go closer, maybe knock on the door and open the door, and then you will see all the other frequencies. So that's why it's more penetrative. Yeah, okay. The frequency. Because of that also, let's say the range, it's a little bit on the outside. It could be more or less the same, depending of the from chip to chip, and like versions like Bluetooth 5 outside they reach 100 meters, Zigbee also, Wi-Fi also. So we have a little bit more. With the long range we reach 1.5 mile or 1 kilometer. But the inside is the difference. The Z-Wave could reach, of course, talking about the same strength of signal, same model. We can compare now with, we have the Shelly because we have the Wi-Fi and Z-Wave modules. Wi-Fi can reach about 10 meters, Z-Wave up to 40, Zigbee 20, Bluetooth 10. So inside there's the strength of the Wi-Fi. That's Z-Wave over Wi-Fi. A part of that, all the Z-Wave devices, so chip itself is built to consume less power. So if we compare the Wi-Fi and Z-Wave, same device, so same hardware, the difference is the chip. The chip of Wi-Fi consumes about 1 watt and something, while ours consume less than 303 watts, about 0.26, something like that, depending of the device, which is, at least in Europe, where I live, especially Slovenia, it's quite a hassle, because when you have one device, that's nothing, but when you have it, start to have it 40, 50, which can be quite quick with a house, even a bigger apartment. You can have like 50, 60, 70 watts, or you can have it like half of the 1/3 of that, which is 20, 30 watts. So quite a big difference. Also better battery life. It's still a little bit more it consume a little bit more than the Bluetooth. So the Bluetooth is still the leader in the, let's say, battery devices, but after that is the Z-Wave. Wi-Fi is quite consuming. Smart Start is a way of inclusion of the device. So adding the device to the gateway controller hub, however called, before actually even power the device. So what you basically do, you have the QR code, you scan the QR code, and of course with the application and the gateway that support this one, this QR code contains the data of the device, and it goes to one list of the devices. Once you plug this device or put the battery in, if you talk about the battery devices, this device will start to communicate, hello, I'm here. Gateway, of course, have to be in also mode to start smart start mode, and then we'll communicate, hello, I'm here, I want to be included. Very speaking very easily, no technical details, so they will see each other, and then the device will be added to the gateway with the secure inclusion. So securely The good also thing is this, that in the example for some installers or somebody who want to do this one previously, even to have a network installed or anything, so you can do scanning one by one device. You already added them to the different rooms and everything, and then you just plug the devices, and when you will be powering up the devices, they will be automatically added to the gateway. Security, a part of the encryption, which I will not speak so much. I'm not firmware guy, electrician, but a part of the security, like you say, also the Wi-Fi devices are encrypted. Yes, the good point of the Z-Wave, no matter what the encryption is that the network is hidden to most of the devices, basically to any device. Since you have to have a custom antenna and a custom software and firmware to be able to see anything at all. That's why, like I mentioned, Z-Wave is quite popular in the security, safety and security companies. So alarms and like this, they don't want to, of course, it's hacked so easily. Wi-Fi, you can have a laptop and you can see the Wi-Fi with maybe antenna or something, while Z-Wave is not visible if you're not into that. Now we go to the long range. This weekend we had the good news. The long range the Z-Wave Alliance or Silicon Labs release the Z-Wave European long range also SDK. So we will start to port all our devices also on the Z-Wave long range. We already started to do this one for the US. So from now on, we can do also European long range, like I was mentioning before, can reach up to 1.5 miles or 1 kilometer. Why the difference? If you convert, 1.5 miles is more than 1 kilometer, but there is another good point, one point in favor for US. They allow signal strength a little bit higher signal strength than the European laws. So they have, I think, 4 decibel differences. So that's why I can reach 1.5 mile, while 1 kilometer here we reach it with our devices and development board. Like I mentioned, it's 4,000 up to 4,000 devices. They work in a star network, this time not in mesh, meaning every device communicate with the hub directly. So here, let's say associations are not in play anymore. And what else? Long range. Yeah, most common question that I'm getting is if the old devices will be able to be updated to the long range. So until last week, it was basically no, but maybe we find or they find there is a way to do this one too. So the main problem here is that long range devices need the DSK or the QR code to get included. The only way to include the long range device is through the Smart Start. So you need the DSK and other details which are written in the QR code. So when you're updating, flashing, let's say a mesh device with a long range firmware, no problem, it will go. The first thing will happen probably is that we'll get disconnected from the network because it's completely different. Even if it's mesh, it's a different different firmware. So what happened? We tried it, and yeah, we just get disconnected. And the second thing is, then you don't have the QR code. The QR code is of a mesh device, so you cannot include long range because you have a QR code from mesh. So even if you leave a date, this one will not work. Now, we find some tool that maybe will make this possible. So to, let's say, have a new QR code. We are still working on this. I don't know. We will try to do it. For all the clients that already have mesh devices. So this is what about long range. In conclusion, why could somebody choose Z-Wave? Like we go through this one, it's reliable, it's energy efficient, it's designed for the home appliances, and it will reach long range, reach up to 1 kilometer. Of course, this is without obstacles. Otherwise, with the obstacles, like we say, we were testing it 100 meters through the building we have here. It was working. It can reach a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on the structure of the devices, houses, apartments. Currently, we have available devices which are here on the list. So wave 1 p.m., 2 p.m. shutter, and so on. On this slide, I have the Z-Wave long-range US devices, and which you can see two products which are not listed there because they will come out, and these are the Shelly Wave H and T and the Shelly Wave Motion. More or less, I conclude my slide. I can just say the few things that it's very often in my list of questions. One is like that I cannot add the device cannot be added. We make improvements from the series 500 to 800 to put the LED. The LED will tell you if the device is included or not. What happens when the device cannot get included? If you already try to include a device will get a node ID from the gateway, marking the node ID and home ID, so the device will know that it is included. And now what happened during the inclusion inclusion, there is an interview for some reason or other does not complete, and the device basically remains with the node ID but not included, and that device is like, let's say, not included in the gateway. What you need to do is just reset the device and try again. More questions coming up now. It's time for your questions, so we have like about 30 minutes for your questions.
I just want to clarify for the audience that at the beginning we set the meeting duration for 1 hour and a half. We added a half an hour buffer, so that's why now we have the time for Q&A. And at the beginning, I completely forgot to mention that in this session, we do have a Q&A option where you can add your questions. So anyone in the audience, if you have a question, feel free to use the Q&A option, add your question, and Igor will be able to answer. Something else while we are waiting for questions to mention that Igor a couple of times mentioned about the Zigbee technology. Definitely this is something we are planning. Next month we are planning to have a Zigbee training. There are more overall topics coming very soon. We will also post in our social medias information about the upcoming webinars in March. But this month, as you know, I'm not sure if you have seen, but there is a Shelly Smart control webinar, one for the getting started with the Shelly mobile app, and another one for the scene automation. So if you're interested in more webinars, definitely follow our Shelly community. You can also register to our Shelly Academy email box, from where we are sending email updates for all the upcoming webinars. So yeah, definitely this is it from my side. So Igor, we do have a question actually.
Yes.
PowerPoint yes. To be shared. Great question. Should I answer this? We don't really plan to share the presentation, but we are planning to share the recording from this meeting.
For the Z-Wave Gateway, I can answer. Yes, we are working on it. We have, let's say, beta environments. We're working on two different ways. So yes, we will develop a gateway, which be probably connected to the Shelly app. So yeah, we are working on that. Very hard. Hopefully this year, not the first half, but in the second half, we will have more into this, more news about that.
There is one interesting question. Any ideas when long range would be available in Australia?
That's a problem because it's not our problem, actually, because the frequencies have to be validated by the country or the one who is responsible for the I don't know about that. This is certification stuff. I don't know much that, but yeah, we can do it. No problem whatsoever. But first of all, the frequency have to be chosen, verified, and agreed some governmental institution probably. So if you force somebody to do it, we can do it.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So there is one question. How would a company integrate alarm system, for example, Z-Wave devices, into a complete solution?
We are working with the biggest quite big companies like Alarm.com, Risco, and others. They have their own sensors, which probably they will not. So let's say our door window will not be replaced because they are working on that. But what we are usually doing is to have the switches and all the dimmers and all the rest, which is not very strictly contained like alarm. So more like lights and like this. We can. I don't know if Shelly have a plan to do a bundle like they have for Wi-Fi devices and Bluetooth. Maybe we will do this. Is up the above to choose and to do which will if the package will be available.
Perfect. And there's one more question. Is there any plan to create a hub to include Z-Wave into Shelly app to create automations between various protocols?
Yeah, this is what we are working on. Yeah, that's definitely our primary goal is to have a hub or a bridge or somehow to let's say to take the Z-Wave devices, Shelly Z-Wave devices also in a Shelly app. So this is our focus, and we are working on this. We have, like I said, we have some prototypes, hardware and firmware. So it's being in development in two. So it's one fail, we have the other one. So we are going on this way. Yes, Peter, you can write a question.
Yep, Peter, just use the Q&A form. Great. Thank you very much, everyone, for your questions. Yeah, let's wait for Peter or anybody else. If you have questions, feel free. Okay, Stoyan, I saw on your slides a camera picture. Does Z-Wave support video at all?
No. And it's not a camera. It was maybe the motion. I don't know which one was in the slides, the camera. Maybe it was some of the slides which was just we don't have cameras, and I don't know the bandwidth is large enough for the video feed.
Perfect. Yeah, whoever is raising a hand, please use the Q&A tool to ask your questions. Thank you very much. So yeah, we will answer your questions once we Q&A tool.
Yeah, Michael, we try to make one up. So we use the Shelly app So the Shelly app will basically speak with this hub, and then you will be able to have interaction between the. We are working on this, so to have one app, not two apps, Shelly app. So for I wanted also to say this presentation was very basic one. Leave some comments or requests if you want to have a little bit more deep knowledge, like how it works, more problems, more solutions, more in deep knowledge on this. This was really basic one. So if anyone wants to have another one, here Sinead will make it happen. I will prepare the slides. She will make the webinar.
And yeah, as I mentioned at the beginning, after this webinar, we will share an email with you with a survey where you can add your suggestions, thoughts, and we have this question there. If you want a little bit more technical Z-Wave webinar, we can definitely prepare one for you. One more question. Thank you for the information about LR and the future firmware update possible to the old devices. Regarding this, the LR in Europe is also compatible with the several brands like the, I don't know how to pronounce this, and Shelly
IoTech and Shelly Cubino. Well, like mentioned, okay, maybe I didn't mention, was not clear enough. The long range devices will have both protocols, so long range and mesh. So if you will include the device long range, then there will be no communication, like direct communication, like association with the other devices. But if you include mesh, then yes, it's same as before. The devices will communicate with each other, but of course through the gateway or controller. Yeah, long range it can communicate with the normal mesh. Yeah, through the gateway, of course. I hope I get the question right.
Okay, new post. What is the associations? Can you explain?
Yes, associations basically are, this is the technical stuff that I skip. Let's say associations are basically simple commands that can be sent from device to device. So without the gateway, you can, let's say you can program, you need a gateway or a hub to set this one. So you set basic on off or multi-level change, meaning like some basic on off is just on and off. So send command on, send command off, or you can program a multi-level change, meaning you press the button, you hold the button until you reach certain level, you release, and then this set will go to the other device. This is direct communication, meaning it does not require a gateway, or basically it's just skip the gateway. Let's say in my home I have a motion with a lamp, so whenever I open the door and enter the room, it automatically turn on the lamp without the use of hub, let's say. Yes, exactly. Good question. What are the implementation of grading long range to such battery efficiency? Does the power management remain the same? Yes. The power management, the power consumed by long range is actually a little bit less than a mesh. So yeah, we will. It's better. Actually, it's better efficiency than the mesh. A little bit better. And of course, this is also good because it will not go through mesh, but directly to the hub. Yeah, so battery efficiency is the same, if not better. We have to test it. This is the first calculations is telling us so.
Perfect. Okay, new post. Hi there, a quick question. Where do Shelly Z-Wave spread the most? Also, one more thing, we cannot ask questions in the application, just in the browser version, FYI. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you for letting us know.
How did you mean, like Shelly spread the most? You mean sold most, or I don't have such a detail, so where it's sold most? Can you explain what you want to ask with this? Question, please. Mariano, yes, I'm Mariano in the charge of a technical support for Life to Better. Are you planning to add the presence sensors? Yes, in the last slide you can see the motion, which is the small presence sensor or motion detection. So I don't know if there's a differences, but it's like a ER motion detection. We have that one already, and it's going to be out very soon. Planned for this year, very soon.
Perfect. So we do have.
Well, I cannot tell you exactly. Like I say, I don't have the. I'm not in the sale department. I can tell you from the questions that I get. I get with the Kubino, I was getting the most questions from the northern countries, so Finland, Denmark, and Sweden. Quite a lot. Now with Shelly, since we have a lot of presence in Germany, I have a lot of questions from Germany. So I have to assume that is sell more in Germany and in northern countries. We have now a lot of questions also from US, so we are getting there slowly. I cannot say you by myself. This is just from questions that I get. So this is my experience that I have.
Overall Western countries. Perfect. Any plans to create MMWire radar sensor based in Z-Wave?
Not for now. For now, I don't have. This year, no. For now, no. You can request this one, and then the higher ups will see the demand, and according to that, yes or no. So for now, no.
Okay, perfect. So if there are no any other questions, I think we can close the session, but of course we will wait for a couple of more minutes just to see if there are any other questions. But yes. Thank you very much for attending. I'm super excited to see so many people in this session overall. So we do have one more question. Hi, I use Homey Pro like a hub, but I have some issues with the shutter wave. It can't appear to Alexa. I'm not sure if this is the question for us.
Yeah, no, it's not so much for us because not like Wi-Fi devices, we are not managing the communication with the Alexa and other voice controllers. So this is handled by the Homey. There, I don't know. You can ask. We have developers which are doing our hub, our app. You can try to ask them. If you go to the website, to the web, and just search Shelly Homey app, you will find our app. You scroll down, there is their email, and you can directly ask to them if it's possible to handle this one with our app or this one. I don't know exactly because it's not. I don't know until which extent our app interact with the Alexa. I think it's mostly by the hub. So
now my suggestion here would be better ask the support instead of us. We are not the experts for this specifically.
It's so most like the problem is that
for sure.
Yeah, the problem is that in Z-Wave rely quite heavily on the gateway. So the gateway doesn't have any capability. It's not a device. It's mostly the gateway. So like Sinead say, try to look support in Homey or the Homey Shelly Homey app. They will give you more detailed answer.
Perfect. Thank you very much, everyone. Let's close the session. I think we received some really great questions. Absolutely enjoyed this time. This was very first webinar, and seeing so many people was exciting, honestly. We should see you on the next one. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us through the emails that you will get now, the automatic ones. So yeah, feel free to reach out to fill in the survey as well. So thank you very much. Wish you a great afternoon and see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.